Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about how I lived in my car, what I did. And yeah, so today's actually the 9th of October, 2024. Out here at work, you feel me? So how should I start? Well, to begin with, the reason why I left, actually I didn't really have that much of a reason. I just wanted to come to New York for fun. But what's it called? When I first got here, I remember I drove from Denver to New York. It took me like 2 days. Stopped in Chicago, slept in like a hotel for the night, and then it was like 11 hours the next day until I got here. I remember I got here at like 9:30 p.m. July 1st, I believe. And the first thing I did, well, I drove through like the Brooklyn Bridge. I remember I was playing that one song by, I think it's Beastie Boys. It's like, Don't Stop Till Brooklyn or some shit like that. I don't know, bro. It was some corny shit, but it was the vibe. I'm telling you. I remember I parked my car somewhere in like, it was by a museum slash like a zoo slash like a library in Brooklyn. And I took the train to Manhattan. I remember I was so confused when I got to that train station. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this, yo? Like, shit was crazy. But I remember I got to Manhattan. The first thing I did was go to Times Square. And I was just walking around. I remember I met one of my first friends here. He goes by like Relzov. He took me out to go cliff jumping and, really showed me around after a minute. After I met him. But I slept in my car for like the first night, I remember, and then the next 3 nights I slept in like an Airbnb just temporarily to like gain like some balance real quick. And during those days, I was driving around exploring like throughout Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx. And then I remember after the Airbnb, I had to sleep in my car because I didn't really have anywhere else to stay. And I would usually sleep by that same like museum slash library place. It's like a nice parking lot. It was kind of in the dark. Like it was in the middle of like the city in Brooklyn. Like it was a well populated area to the point where like I wouldn't get robbed type shit like at night. Not that I would like feel so, like my intuition wouldn't tell me like, okay, this is a bad place. But it was nice and dark to where like nobody would really mind or pay attention like this nigga sleeping in his car or not. And then I remember I would sleep there for a while, and then I switched. I started sleeping in Flatbush, Brooklyn. It's like a neighborhood. And keep in mind, this is the summer, so it's hot, right? Sometimes it'd be too hot. I have to leave the windows a little bit like creased open, and like I was scared that with that somebody would get in or something, but nah. I would build like a tent. I had like a blanket. I would build like a tent using these ones, and like the backseat ones. I would put like the blanket over both of them, and I'd sleep in the back seat. And like you couldn't see me. You could tell somebody's in there like with a tent, but you wouldn't see me or nothing. You feel me? And it would get hot as fuck, but I had to do what I had to do. After a while, obviously everybody gets stinky. So like after like a few days, I got a gym membership. No, wait, pause. After a few days, I started hitting the beach, Coney Island. I would take a shower at the beach in the mornings. I remember that. So I'd pull up in the morning, I'd take a shower, like I'd just dive into the ocean. Then I'd dry off, change in my car. And then I'd get ready for the day and just like, head out, get something to eat. Feel me? Like just vibe out. Also, I don't know if this is just personally me or like if this could help anybody else. But I remember I would buy backwoods and I would just smoke them. No weed, just backwoods, straight tobacco. And like that shit would make me feel grounded as a motherfucker. Like I would walk in, like I remember I was having like cellular issues. I walked into that Verizon store like after smoking a backwood, and like it was like I gave 0 fucks, but I was yelling at these niggas like, you guys got me fucked up, like you guys gotta fix my cellular service. Like the backwoods really do something to you, I'm telling you. But anyways, right? Yeah, after I got tired of that, like the beach, it gets a little bit like exhausting sometimes having to drive all the way down to Coney Island every day. Like that's like a 40-minute drive, right? So I got a gym membership at Crunch Fitness, right? And this is a whole story by itself. But I got a gym membership at Crunch, and I would just shower in the mornings. I'd go to Crunch and I'd shower. And I remember this one was in like Queens, I'm pretty sure like in Jamaica. And I would go there and just shower and then leave and then get ready for the day. I remember one day I lost my car. I forgot where I parked because it was like in a neighborhood. In that neighborhood, like everything looked the same. It was a whole thing. But yeah, then I did that for about like a month. Cause I lived in my car for like a month and a half. So like I did that for like a month. I was just chilling, showering at the gym, vibing out, exploring the city. I made a few friends. I remember one night, so I hadn't been drinking alcohol since I got here for a minute, right? And I met this one friend. Her name was Roxy. And Roxy, she told me to meet me at the park one day. She told me to meet her at the park one day, and like she had a bottle of vodka, right? So I'm like chugging that shit. She's like, "You're crazy. Like, why are you drinking so much?" I was like, "Nah, don't worry about it. Like, I used to drink a lot in Denver. You know, I can handle this." Keep in mind, I hadn't drinking any sort of alcohol in a minute. Like, I had drinking wine with my friend Kai. He liked to steal wine, but like wine was nothing. You feel me? Like, I was getting sick and tired of it. So I'm chugging this vodka, and next thing I know, like, I was so drunk. I don't remember this, but this is what Roxy's telling me, right? So apparently, I tried to hop this fence for no reason, just because. This is like late at night, we're at this park. I tried to hop over this fence and I fall straight on my head. And I had a big ass bruise, like right here, like a big ass like circle, like right there the next morning. But that's not where the story ends. Apparently I tried hopping it twice. So I fell the first time and I fell the second time. Then I fell trying to like hop the train styles, like to like not have to pay. And then I remember she took me to my car, and she's telling me that when we got to my car, because I told her like that's where I live, like just take me to my car, I'll be okay. She sat there in my car for a minute trying to tell me not to drive. Hold on. And I just remember her sitting in my car for a minute telling me like, calm down, don't drive, like, you know, just stay here. But I kept telling her like, oh, I gotta go to Coney Island so I could take a shower tomorrow morning, because this was still when I was taking a shower at the beach, right? Bruh, I blacked out, right? Next thing I know, I wake up in the middle of like Flatbush. Just like my car, so you know the streets, like this is a street. There's a lane of cars parked here, and there's a lane of cars parked here, and then there's like the narrow lane in the middle where all the cars go, right? I was parked right in the middle, right? My car was parked right in the middle, lights on and everything. My phone was at 100%, hot as hell on my lap. This window right here was open, and I was like this, like I was passed the fuck out. And I woke up like that, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Nigga, I had a brand new mark on my car. I have no idea where it came from. It was like 2-something a.m. I was hungover as a motherfucker. I just remember I like drove up like a street or two, parked, rolled up the window, and went right back to sleep. No blanket, no nothing, bro. Like, that shit was crazy. And then I asked her like, yo, what happened? She told me the story. And it wasn't until the next day when I actually saw the big ass bruise on my forehead. Shit was crazy. But as for food, I don't know. I would just go to the deli. I got into the habit of getting like the bacon, egg, and cheese, and the lamb over rice, lamb and chicken over rice. That's a great combination. That shit, like, you can get one of those, and that shit could feed you for like a day, to be honest. If you're like, if you don't just like swallow your shit whole, pause, you could save that shit like throughout the day. Probably like $10. I was eating that. And yeah, I don't know, it's pretty nice. I remember for a while I actually went to New Jersey. There was like this crazy rainstorm, and I went to New Jersey, and I got caught up in the rainstorm in New Jersey. So I remember I was sleeping like under this bridge. This is like some real like broke nigga shit right here, bro. I was sleeping under this bridge, and it's raining, right? And like, so my car, I had crashed my car before being reckless. So right here, like on the seam, it was a little bit like fucked up. Like the door was fucked up, right? So like the water would be leaking sometimes into the car, and it would get my seat all wet, and sometimes it would reach the back where I was sleeping. That day that it was like a rainstorm in New Jersey, even though it was under the bridge, the water was still slipping in. I remember that shit. And I remember telling myself, like, yo, Manny, like, this is crazy, bro. Like, how long is it gonna be? Like, how long is it gonna stay like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do something for real. And, like, the whole time I knew I had to do something. Like, it was the goal was, like, you know, to create something out of myself out here. But, like, it was just one of those moments where I just sat back and I was thinking to myself, like, wow. And, you know, at this point, I was running out of money. That morning that I had gotten to New Jersey, I took a nap in this random ass neighborhood, and I got woken up by the cops because they were like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you know, the neighbors are, anonymous neighbor is worried about you. Anonymous neighbor was standing in the back with another cop staring, bro. Like, that was not anonymous at all. But anyways, it was just a whole day where I was just thrown off, you feel me? So that was something for sure. But if I had to say anything about like living in your car, it's honestly not even that bad. Like, if you know what you're doing, you're just not fucking retarded. Pause. You're not smart. Like, if you just don't use your brain, you're gonna fuck up. But if you use your brain, like, even in the slightest, like, it's easy, bro. Like, it's like no difference from, like, you know, when you play a video game and, like, say you're playing Minecraft and you got to like refuel your hunger and catch some sleep at night. Like, it's that simple. Like, you know, your body doesn't need too much to survive. Like, and if you got like crazy standards where you're like, oh my goodness, I need a nice little blanket and a perfect like queen sized bed and fucking sheer moisturizer every morning or else I'm gonna die, then that's an issue you got. You feel me? I'm not trying to bash nobody. I'm just saying, like, if it comes to that, you gotta forget all that. You gotta remember the basic needs, you know what I'm saying? Food, sleep, and movement. You gotta stay moving, because if you stay lazy, if I were to have just stayed in my car that whole time and I didn't explore and walk around and do shit, and I just became a lazy bum in my car with my phone, I would have gotten nowhere, you feel me? Like, you gotta really like keep yourself going, and a lot of self-motivation for sure too, because, you know what I'm saying, shit could get pretty lonely sometimes. Like, the thoughts will start getting to you. But I'm not even gonna lie, that was probably like the happiest I ever was when I was living in my car. It was like so stress-free. Life was so good too. Like I don't know how much you guys are into like this manifesting shit, right? But like, I would think of something, like, sometimes I think of like free food. I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting free food today. Boom, it would happen. Like, I'd walk by a cookout, people would be like, yo, you know, free food, you want some? Like, have some hamburgers, hot dogs. Or like a precinct would have a cookout, or like the library would be having like some sort of like public lunch or some shit like that, you feel me? Like, it was nice, bro. It was nice for sure. No worries, nothing. But yeah, after that, my mom came to visit me because, you know, she was worried and stuff. So she came to visit to check up on me. And she ended up getting like this Airbnb. She let me stay there while she was here. This was like after the month and a half, right? And I remember she was like talking to, like, asking random people if they had like shit for rent. And like, keep in mind, this whole time I'm manifesting to myself, like, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna come to me. Like, I don't even have to go out and look for an apartment, it's just gonna come to me. She went out and she was talking to people, like, asked random people, like the supers of the apartment that she was staying at for the Airbnb, if they were renting any rooms or any apartments. Boom, just like that. Oh yeah, we're renting for like, if you're gonna be a student or whatever. Keep in mind, I wasn't gonna be a student. Yeah, like, I actually did not want to go to college. I'm going to college. I actually already started college, but I'm not. Well, I start college this month, right? I'm already signed up and everything, but I didn't plan on it last year because I just didn't plan on it last year. I didn't want to. Like, that wasn't part of the plan yet. And I remember she told him, like, yeah, he's gonna start college, just not yet. Like, he needs to get back on his feet. and that shit just worked out. And so I just started living there. I paid like $1,000 a month plus like utilities and shit like that, and that's what it's been ever since. And like, it's a really nice place in a really nice area, and I've been there for like about a year and a few months now. And to be honest, like, I'm so grateful, you feel me? Like, everything kind of just worked out in his favor. And the best part is, like, the whole time that I was living in my car, I didn't work once. I didn't DoorDash once. I didn't ask for money from anything or anybody or like sell anything once, bro. Like, the whole time I was straight fucking vibing. Like, life, bro, when you really like want to do something and you like really like believe in yourself and the universe, like, shit just works, bro. It's crazy. I'm telling you, like, the whole time I didn't put in an ounce of work. I was out vibing, trying foods, going to raves with my new friends. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing shit for fun. Like, I met so many people while I was homeless that just like accepted me for who I was and like vibed out with me. That's kind of what I like about New York. Like, niggas don't care, you feel me? Like, people, if you're a vibe, you're a vibe, and if you're not, you're not. Like, but I just had so much fun, and I'm just so thankful, you feel me? Like, that was all like God's will, you know what I'm saying? He stayed with me the whole time, you know. He obviously took care of me. That night I was fucking blacked out, and that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that bad. I would give the experience like a nice 9 out of 10. And yeah, like, it was nice and it was easy. Like, people don't gotta stress too much. And like, for those saying like, oh, now you got lucky, all right, if it had gotten to the point where I was like, oh word, like, okay, now I actually got to do something, put in some work, I could have stayed in my car longer and just DoorDashed. I was a professional fucking DoorDasher when I was in Denver. I had like 5 stars on timing, 5 stars on food quality, 5 stars on like, what is it, delivery completions. Like, I had everything 5. Like, I was like highly rated, 5 out of 5, right? Over 1,000 deliveries. Like, I could have just done that shit over here. Over here, DoorDash is so fucking easy too, and it's so much more money because there's so much more people and so many more restaurants. I just didn't have to. And I knew I didn't have to because I manifested the whole thing, but I'm telling you. But, yeah, I don't know. Life has a crazy way of doing things. So I would just say, you know, if you ever find yourself in a crazy experience, just believe in yourself type shit. Like, it's really that simple. And enjoy yourself. Like, things happen in your life kind of like out of your control in a way. Like, you just got to enjoy what's going on because it's going to change. And everything that's going on is just there to like keep you moving to your next level if you accept it. If you live in like sorrow and regret and you're constantly like worried about things, you're going to stay stuck. That's the way it works. That's like the way the Matrix works, like the fucking universe and law of attraction and all that. Like, you just gotta be like a vibe the whole time. If you're not a vibe, the universe doesn't fuck with you, you feel me? And it keeps you in place. But yeah, guys, that's the video for today. So I guess I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. And if you guys like my content, go ahead and subscribe. If not, then that's cool. I get it. But all right, man, have a good one.